Good evening. You're watching the news at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The news at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Bengaluru limps back to normalcy. Curfew lifted from all 16 police stations in the city. Karnataka, meanwhile, claims it does not have enough water in its reservoirs to release to Tamil Nadu. Internal feud of the Samajwadi Party takes a new turn. Stripped of his portfolios by Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, Shivpal Yadav says he will abide by Party Chief Mulayam Singh's decisions. Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Both sides sign agreements, issue a joint statement as well. And chikungunya spreads in the national capital Delhi. 10 deaths reported so far, around 1,000 people affected by the outbreak. Our top story this evening, the internal feud of the ruling Samajwadi Party has taken a new turn, with both Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and his uncle Shivpal Yadav sticking to their respective stands. With just a few months left for the assembly polls, party patriarch Mulayam Singh is seeking to broker peace between uncle and nephew.
मैं समझता हूँ परिवार की बात है। परिवार में नेताजी का सब कहना माने और सब कहना माने और मैंने भी कहना ही माना। अगर कोई मैंने निर्णय लिया है तो मैंने नेताजी के कहने से ही और नेताजी का मानना भी काम किया। कभी-कभी कुछ निर्णय अपने आप ले लिए जाते हैं, तो नेताजी के कहने से भी निर्णय लिए और कुछ मैंने अपने आप लिए।
A day after bitter showdown with his uncle and senior minister Shivpal Yadav, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh sought to downplay the rift within his family. Shivpal Yadav too, who was made State Unit Chief by Mulayam but divested of important portfolios by the Chief Minister, rushed to Delhi to meet party president, saying he will abide by the decision of his brother and SP Chief.
ये तो मुख्यमंत्री का अधिकार होता है, मुख्यमंत्री का अधिकार है। जो नेताजी ने जिम्मेदारी दी है संगठन की, तो हम उस जिम्मेदारी को बखूबी निभाएंगे। और जो हमने 4 साल में जो हमारी सरकार ने हमने जो भी काम किए वो जनता के बीच में, और उत्तर प्रदेश की जनता समाजवादी पार्टी और नेताजी के साथ है।
However, contrary to assurances from both sides, the internal differences in the ruling Yadav clan is far from over. The present crisis comes just a few months ahead of the assembly polls, which are scheduled to be held in early 2017. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more on this, let's go across to the reporter who got us that story, Vishal Dahiya. He joins us live. Vishal, the feud, it seems, has finally reached Mulayam Singh's door. But given that it's just a few months before the polls, it really does not augur well for the Samajwadi Party.
Well, yes, Ishan, the trouble has been brewing within the Yadav clan for quite some time now, and this was pretty much clear by the stand which has been taken by the Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav quite a number of times as far as the political direction of the party is concerned. And a few instances are the anti-merger stand taken by Akhilesh Yadav when there was talk of the QED, the another small regional party being merged with Samajwadi Party. In addition to that, DP Yadav's entry to Samajwadi Party was also opposed by Akhilesh Yadav. And as far as Akhilesh versus Shivpal is concerned, this is something which has been going on for quite some time, but it had not come to the fore. And the sort of the precursor to yesterday's event was how the Chief Secretary was shunted out by the Chief Minister, and the Chief Secretary was considered to be a Shivpal loyalist. He was earlier Secretary in the Irrigation Department, and immediately after that, Shivpal Yadav was made the chief of a party's state unit, something which did not go down well with the Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav, and he ended up divesting Shivpal of all the important portfolios. So all in all, this is something where the situation stands now. Both the senior leaders have made it quite clear that they will abide by the decision of the party chief and patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav. And just a short while ago, a marathon meeting between Mulayam Singh and Shivpal has come to an end, although no one has spoken to the media after the meeting got over. But there are indications coming in from the Yadav clan that efforts are being made by Mulayam Singh Yadav to placate both sides to ensure that there is no further damage to the image of the party, given the fact that it's just few months left for the assembly polls. And obviously, in a critical situation like this, the Yadav family would want to put up a united front before the polling process begins.
Right, Vishal. Now, for Mulayam Singh Yadav, this is a rather unique time because he's really not faced a confrontation within his own party, within the Samajwadi Party. And this sort of weakness, because there are a number of other relatives also of Mulayam Singh Yadav who hold key positions in the UP government as well as in Samajwadi Party. How are the other parties in the fray, the BJP, the BSP and the Congress for the 2017 elections trying to exploit this?
Well, yes, you're right. As far as Samajwadi Party is concerned, Mulayam Singh Yadav has not faced such an open rebellion so far. There have been instances wherein, senior leaders of the party and specifically those from his family itself have not been happy with one or the other decision. But that, those issues have been sorted out within the family itself without, things becoming public. But this time around, situation is a bit different. The Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav seems to have made it quite clear, and but it was made quite clear in earlier occasions, as I pointed out. But this time, Akhilesh seems to have made his position very clear. And in the statement which he made to the media in the day today, he clearly pointed out that the feud is not within the party. There is nothing wrong within the family, but politically speaking, yes, there are some differences. A clear indication that he still does not agree with the line which has been taken by the party's top brass. And as far as other parties are concerned, well, this is a time for them to, take complete advantage of the situation. That's why we see, leaders from other political parties, specifically the BJP, the Congress and the Bahujan Samajwadi Party taking pot shots at the Yadav clan.
All right, Vishal, we'll leave it there. Vishal, of course, will keep a track of the story for us. Thanks so much for joining us, Sana. Now, moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today held bilateral talks with visiting Afghan President Ashraf Ghani. In a stern message to Pakistan, both leaders called for an end to all support, sponsorship and safe havens to terrorists and decided to strengthen security and defense cooperation. During their talks, the two leaders also expressed grave concern at continued use of terrorism for achieving political objectives in the region. Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's support for a unified, sovereign, democratic and peaceful Afghanistan, conveying the country's readiness to consider further requirements for capacity and capability building in spheres such as education, health, agriculture, skill development and women empowerment. The two sides also inked 3 agreements: an extradition treaty, cooperation in civil and commercial matters, and the Memorandum of Understanding on cooperation in peaceful uses of outer space.
The two leaders discussed the regional situation and expressed grave concern at the continued use of terrorism and violence in the region for achieving political objectives. They agreed that this phenomenon presented the single biggest threat to peace, stability and progress in the region and beyond. And they called for elimination of all forms of terrorism.
Now, with Delhi NCR reporting at least 10 chikungunya deaths this season, Health Minister JP Nadda today held a meeting with concerned officials and simultaneously sought a report on the deaths from the Delhi government.
एक बात जरूर कहूंगा कि पैनिक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. There is no need to get panic. दिल्ली की जनता भी आगे आए, अपने आसपास और घरों में भी जो ब्रीडिंग हो रही है मॉस्किटोज की, उसकी रोकथाम करने में हमारा सहयोग करें.
Union Health Minister JP Nadda again appealed to the public of Delhi NCR to not create panic and has also pressed upon the need to maintain regular hygiene. In a review meet held with concerned officials, Health Minister sought a detailed report from the Delhi government after sudden outbreak of chikungunya and other viral diseases. He has also assured of complete support from the centre.
मैंने आज दिल्ली के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री सत्येंद्र जैन जी से भी बैठक के पहले बातचीत की और मैंने उनसे पूछा कि आपको कोई व्यवस्था की दृष्टि से किसी चीज़ की आवश्यकता है। उन्होंने हमें ये जवाब दिया कि हमारे पास सारी व्यवस्थाएं हैं। वी आर वर्किंग अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रोटोकॉल्स गिवन बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट एंड ऑल सपोर्ट इज देयर। हमने फिर भी उनसे कहा है कि कोई भी आवश्यकता हो तो आप हमें बताएं। हमने कहा है कि व्हाटएवर फैसिलिटीज यू नीड फ्रॉम अवर साइड वी आर रेडी टू गिव एंड वी विल बी वर्किंग टुगेदर।
पैनिक करने की बिल्कुल आवश्यकता नहीं है। चिकनगुनिया और डेंगू का इलाज, डेंगू के अंदर 95% लोग अगर डेंगू है भी तो घर पे इलाज हो सकता है। हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट पता करेगा ना कि किस वजह से हुई, क्या हुआ, भाई क्यों ऐसा क्या हुआ कि भाई एक ही अस्पताल में जाने के बाद एकदम से इतनी सारी डेथ्स हो रही हैं।
With few more deaths reported due to vector-borne disease in the last 2 days, the number of cases have crossed over 1,000. This upsurge of chikungunya and dengue cases in Delhi NCR has created a panic among the residents. However, doctors say that chikungunya is not life-threatening disease in general, but in rare cases leads to complications that prove fatal.
मच्छर वगैरह रोकने थे इनको, तो ये पहले रोकते ना। जब बरसात जैसी बंद हुई, इन्होंने फॉगिंग नहीं कराई, कुछ नहीं कराया इन्होंने। मैं तो ये कहता हूँ, ये तीनों की लड़ाई के अंदर आम आदमी मर रहा है।
तो घर घर वहाँ परेशानी यही हाल है। कोई एमसीडी वाला झांकने नहीं आते, कोई चेकिंग नहीं आते, पानी फूल भरा पड़ा है, कोई देखने वाला नहीं है, गंदगी फैला पड़ा है।
But the political blame game between the centre and Delhi state refuses to settle as Delhiites continue to suffer.
1000 मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनने की जो बात कही थी, जो वायदा किया था दिल्ली वालों से, अगर 500 भी बनाया होता तो इतने बड़े पैमाने पर लोग बीमार न होते।
कोई थोड़ी भी इंसानियत होगी तो उसके आंसू आ जाएंगे कि किस बेबसी का शिकार आज दिल्ली के लोग हैं। वो आम आदमी पार्टी जो लोगों की भलाई का दावे करती हुई सत्ता में आई, आसमान के तारे देने की बात करके आई, अब दिल्ली जब चुनाव जीत लिया है और 67 एमएलए के बाद जो अहंकार बढ़ गया है, यही तरह की पॉलिसी जो है वो पंजाब में अपनाए हुए हैं। जन लोकपाल पे चुनाव लड़ने वाली पार्टी आज जन लोकपाल भूल चुकी है।
ये तो बहुत आसान है कि हम एक दूसरे पे उंगली उठाते रहें और हमेशा राजनीति में उठाई भी जाती है, लेकिन मैं आज ये प्रार्थना करने के लिए आया हूँ सभी लोगों से कि आने वाले कुछ दिन एक दिल्ली, वन दिल्ली करके इस शहर में लोगों के लिए निकलते हैं।
According to National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program, around 12,255 cases of chikungunya have been reported across the country till August, where Karnataka alone has recorded 8,941, Maharashtra 839 and Andhra Pradesh 492. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Bengaluru is slowly returning to normalcy after 2 days of violence and arson in the IT hub. Transport services were restored in the city today. Some schools and colleges were also reopened after being shut for 2 days. The Supreme Court, meanwhile, agreed to hear a plea tomorrow, seeking direction to the centre, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka to maintain law and order.
Amid escalating tensions between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu over Kaveri water sharing, the Supreme Court on Wednesday agreed to hear an urgent plea on the matter on Thursday. The plea seeks to give direction to the centre, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka to maintain law and order in the wake of violent protests. The PIL has been filed by social activist P. Shivakumar, who sought an urgent hearing in the case due to a statewide bandh called in Karnataka on Thursday. The PIL also sought action against those who have caused widespread damage to public property in Karnataka. Meanwhile, normalcy returned to Bengaluru and parts of violence hit Karnataka on Wednesday. Transport services were restored, shops and business establishments also functioned normally. Curfew was removed from 16 violence-hit areas of Bengaluru, but prohibitory orders remained in effect in the IT hub. Bus services between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, however, remained suspended. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has sought Prime Minister Modi's immediate intervention on the issue.
Peace has come back, the normalcy has come back, and people are moving about. They are doing their daily routine work. Children, students are going to the classes, colleges and schools. It has come back to normal.
Other political parties are also demanding a quick resolution to the long-pending Kaveri dispute.
BJP holds the state government as solely responsible both for the failure in protecting the interest of the state as well as in maintaining law and order. The origin of the present crisis is the affidavit voluntarily submitted by the state government offering to release 10,000 cubics water for 5 days. This stance taken by the state government was against the decision taken in the all-party meeting.
Responsibility of seeing to it that peace and normalcy is restored is the job not just of the government but of all political parties. Now, insofar as the Prime Minister of India is concerned, he has only tweeted, he has not intervened in the matter. And without the Prime Minister's intervention, because the Prime Minister is the head of the federal setup, if he is the Prime Minister he is the head of the federal setup, the least he can do is call the two states together, call the chief ministers, and then find out for himself what is the situation on the ground.
जिस तरह से कंक्रीट लिस्ट में इसको रख दिया है, तो ये काफ़ी तनाव का सूबों में मामला रहेगा। कावेरी और तमिलनाडु के लोगों से मेरी अपील है कि वहाँ लोग आपस में बात करके इस समस्या का निदान भी करें और लोग शांति बनाए रखें। अदालत का फैसला है, उसका सम्मान करें।
Trouble resurfaced in the decades-old Kaveri dispute after the Supreme Court asked Karnataka to release 15,000 cusecs of water to Tamil Nadu last week. Massive protests were held in Karnataka against the Supreme Court order. The agitation turned violent on the 12th of September when the Apex Court modified its earlier order and directed Karnataka to release 12,000 cusecs per day till the 20th of September to Tamil Nadu. Both states witnessed widespread violence and property worth crores was damaged. 2 people also lost their lives in violent protest in Karnataka. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed a PIL against the government funding to separatists in Jammu and Kashmir. In the plea, the petitioner had sought to stop central funds and security being given to separatists in Kashmir. The Apex Court also slammed the petitioner for calling Hurriyat leaders as separatists and refused to use that term in its order. The PIL filed on the 8th of September had alleged that the separatists are misusing the money given to them to finance anti-India activities. Curfew and restrictions meanwhile continued in most parts of Kashmir to maintain law and order. However, incidents of stone pelting were received from many areas in the valley. Helicopters, drones and UAVs continue to hover over the valley skyline for maintaining vigil. On Tuesday, 2 persons were killed and scores injured during clashes between security forces and protesters who tried to defy the curfew. Normal life remained affected for the 68th day in a row. The Supreme Court today asked the centre and all states to reply on a PIL seeking appointment of Lokpal and Lokayuktas following the passage of a law in this regard 3 years ago. The 2-judge bench of the Apex Court issued notices to the centre and all state governments on the PIL, which also seeks a direction to the states to provide adequate budgetary allocation and essential infrastructure for effective functioning of the Lokayuktas. Filed by an advocate, the PIL alleges that though the Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act 2013 received presidential assent on the 1st of January 2014 and came into force from the 16th of January 2014, the executive has not yet established the Lokpal. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday began the second leg of the Congress's Kisan Mahayatra, where he hit out at the ruling Samajwadi Party over the ongoing family rift. Resuming his Deoria to Delhi roadshow after a 2-day break, Rahul said UP Chief Akhilesh Yadav had failed on all fronts. Referring to Akhilesh's stripping of top Samajwadi Party leader and his own uncle Shivpal Singh Yadav from important posts, Rahul said that the cycle is already punctured and that Akhilesh has now thrown out the wheel. Rahul will later head towards Gopiganj in Bhadoi, where he will also hold a roadshow and meetings with party workers before leaving for Allahabad.
अब साइकिल आई, साइकिल का पहिया पीछे से फटा हुआ है, पंचर है, धसी हुई है साइकिल। और कल अखिलेश जी ने तो उठा के टायर फेंकने की कोशिश कर दी। अब 4.5 साल हो गए। अगर आपने साइकिल ठीक करनी थी तो उसको 4.5 साल पहले ठीक करनी थी। चुनाव से 4, 5, 6 महीने पहले आप कहो कि भैया मेरी साइकिल टूटी हुई है, अब इसको मैं ठीक करूंगा, तो उसका क्या मतलब?
Some more national news updates now nationwide. Navjot Singh Sidhu and his wife Najot Kaur Sidhu have formally resigned from the BJP today. The resignation comes a week after the cricketer turned politician announced the launch of his new party, Awaz-e-Punjab. He had been upset with the party since they did not field him from Amritsar, a seat he had held for 10 years in the 2014 parliamentary elections. A no-confidence motion against the Congress-led government in Meghalaya will be taken up tomorrow in the State Assembly. The motion was moved jointly by opposition regional parties comprising the United Democratic Party and National People's Party under the MPF and the Hillsdale People's Democratic Party. It was taken up for failing the people completely, including the safety and security of women and children. An Indo-US joint military drill began in Uttarakhand today. Yudh Abhyas 2016 is a series of one of the longest-running joint military training and a major ongoing bilateral defense cooperation endeavor between India and the United States. The venture will continue till the 27th of September. This is the 12th edition of the exercise, hosted alternately by both countries. V. Shanmuganathan was sworn in as the governor of Arunachal Pradesh today. Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court, Justice Ajit Singh, administered the oath of office to him in the presence of Chief Minister Pema Khandu, his cabinet colleagues and a host of civil and police officials. The NDA staged a dharna to protest against Shahabuddin's release in Patna today. Former Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi raised several questions about his release. An NDA delegation had earlier met the Bihar governor in the same context. Shahabuddin was released earlier this month after spending 11 years in prison. Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Some international news now. An European Commission President, Jean-Claude Juncker, has insisted that the Brexit does not mean the disintegration of the European Union. Juncker warned that the UK may not be granted access to the single market in his State of the Union address on Wednesday. He stressed the world's biggest trade bloc was still an important force. Juncker highlighted the British referendum as a warning that the EU faces a battle for survival against nationalism in Europe. He also asked the remaining EU governments to narrow their differences on addressing many problems facing their economies and societies.
Unsere Freunde und Partner weltweit, die allesamt den Brexit zutiefst bedauern, fragen sich besorgt, ob die britische Entscheidung den Beginn eines Auflösungsprozesses.
And now news from the Rio Paralympic Games, where India won another gold medal in the men's javelin throw. Devendra Jhajaria became the first Indian to clinch 2 gold medals at the Paralympics after he broke his own world record to clinch the top honours at the Rio Games. Devendra won gold in the javelin event at the 2004 Athens Paralympics with a record throw of 62.15 meters, becoming only the second gold medalist at the Paralympics for India and improved upon it with an attempt of 63.97 meters. Devendra took India's tally at this edition of the Paralympics to 4 medals. Earlier, Thangavelu Mariappan had struck gold in the men's high jump, while Varun Bhatia had secured a bronze in the same event, and Deepa Malik won a silver in the women's shot put event to add to the tally. The Slovenia's Football Association head, Alexander Seferin, was elected as the new president of European football's governing body, UEFA. Seferin scored an overwhelming victory over Michael van Praag. The 48-year-old will now succeed former France player Michel Platini, who resigned after being banned from all football activity last year.
Slovenia's Football Federation President Alexander Čaferin was elected as the new head of European football governing body UEFA at an extraordinary congress on Wednesday. Čaferin defeated 68-year-old Dutch FA President Michael van Praag by 42 votes to 13 and will not succeed Frenchman Michel Platini, who announced his resignation in May after being banned from football for 4 years for ethics violations. He will take on the remainder of Platini's term of office until 2019.
Thank you for your fantastic support. It's a great honor, but at the same time, great responsibility. It means a lot to me. It means, and my family is very proud about it. My small and beautiful Slovenia is very proud about it. And I hope that one day you will also be proud of me. Thank you very much.
Former President Platini was suspended over his dealings with fallen world soccer chief Sepp Blatter, a scandal which shook the sport's global governing body last year. Platini, however, insisted at his farewell speech that his conscience was clear.
Sachez simplement, mesdames et messieurs, que ma conscience est tranquille et que je suis certain de ne pas avoir commis la moindre faute et que je continue le combat judiciaire.
Meanwhile, FIFA President Gianni Infantino expressed his gratitude for his former colleague at UEFA.
Grateful to all the Executive Committee members, grateful to the administration, to all of my former colleagues, and grateful, of course, to the two presidents which I have been working with, Lennart Johansson and Michel Platini. Grateful and proud, of course, because many important milestones have been achieved in these years. Many important steps have been taken and important decisions have been put into force.
The UEFA president post had become vacant in May after Platini failed in his bid to overturn a 4-year-old ban in the courts over an illegal payment of 2 million Swiss francs to then FIFA President Sepp Blatter. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more sports action now in Sports Beat. The World Anti-Doping Agency condemned Russian hackers for leaking confidential medical files of star US Olympic athletes. A group calling itself Fancy Bears claimed responsibility for the hack of a WADA database and said it had information about a number of US athletes, including tennis sisters Serena and Venus Williams, as well as multiple gold medal winning gymnast Simone Biles, who were granted permission to use banned drugs. Russian javelin thrower Maria Abakumova was stripped of a 2008 Olympic Games silver medal after she tested positive for using performance-enhancing drugs. British javelin thrower Goldie Sayers is set to be awarded a bronze medal after the announcement. Lionel Messi scored his 6th Champions League hat-trick as Barcelona inflicted a 7-0 defeat on Celtic, their heaviest ever in European tournaments. Luis Suarez scored twice as Neymar and Iniesta were also on target. Meanwhile, Manchester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach match was postponed for a day due to heavy rains. German champions Bayern Munich also began their bid for a 6th European Cup title by hammering Champions League debutants Rostov 5-0. However, French champions Paris Saint-Germain were held to a 1-1 draw by Arsenal. Edinson Cavani put PSG ahead in the first minute, but Alexis Sanchez salvaged a point for the Gunners 13 minutes from time. That's all from us. Goodbye.